This is Digivation Network.
A 21st century citizen is a person using information technology (IT) in order to engage in society, politics, and government. A 21st century citizen also have a comprehensive understanding of digital citizenship, which is the appropriate and responsible behavior when using technology. People who characterize themselves as digital citizens often use IT extensively, creating blogs, using social networks, and participating in online journalism. Although digital citizenship begins when any child, teen, or adult signs off one email address, posts pictures online, uses e-commerce to buy merchandise online, and/or participate in any electronic function. This is the only way to survive and be noticed in the present day. And on this note, I welcome you to Digivation Network, Africa's leading ICT business, lifestyle, and innovation program on television. I am Gideon Tebulaba, and I'm standing in for your regular host, Bayo Gado. To be part of the show, please follow us on all our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network, for exciting and informative videos and reports.
This is Digivation Network.
In this edition, we bring you a special report on one of Africa's biggest ICT accessories hub, Computer Village, Otigba, Ikeja, Lagos. In this special report, we hear the plans of the government for the market and how the traders and interest groups view this. Our top 5 segment for this week features the top 5 most sophisticated prisons in the world, plus an exclusive with Oluwasegun Adeniyi, a digital analyst and banker who shared his thoughts on how banks in Nigeria are making use of locally made softwares to combat the threats of cyber fraud. These and many more coming your way in this edition. But first, let's serve you with trending issues that made news during the week, followed by Digitech Tips with Folawewo.
Hello, I am Bayero Agabi. Welcome you to this new ride, a digital ride that takes you into the lifestyle experience of innovation, tech impact, and new business frontiers. This is Digivation Network. On a weekly basis, we keep you well informed of developments and trends. Now the tech ecosystem is impacting politics, business, public and private enterprise management, plus how the new digital life can transform your business. I am Bayero Agabi. Join us.
The Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigeria Communications Commission, NCC, Professor Umar Garuba Dambata, while speaking on key performance indicators, KPIs of telecom services, highlighted drop calls as one of the major parameters and stated the Commission insists that out of 100 calls, only 1 is allowed to be dropped. He made this known at the Nigeria Academy of Engineering 2021 Technology Lecture and Dinner, in which the NCC was awarded for its contribution to engineering.
As you are aware, we have key performance indicators characterizing quality of service, about 7 of them. The commonest one, that is the parameter that characterizes quality of service, is drop call. That is the phenomenon that most citizens of this country are familiar with. We try as much as possible to ensure that the stipulations of the Nigerian Communications Commission are respected, with regards to this important, parameter. We insist that out of 100 calls, only 1 is allowed to be dropped.
The NCC boss also reinstated the Commission's capacity to monitor and enforce the KPIs across the country.
We intend to enforce this, KPIs. And we have a way to monitor them and ensure that they are adhered with, okay? Meaning we have the capacity to measure these KPIs, including, the SPIPE that I did not state, but primarily the 2 that I have stated.
Yes, so last week I told you how to find your lost or misplaced Android phone, but today I'm going to tell you how to find your lost iPhone. I am Folawe Wayeni. Welcome to Digitectives. So you misplaced your precious iPhone and you're getting sad. Not to worry, just go to your browser and type in iCloud.com. Type in your Apple ID and password and sign in. When you're on iCloud homepage, you will see your phone's apps on the screen. One of them is called Find iPhone. Click on it and it will show you the overview of the location on your map. Then click on all devices at the top of the screen and pick the device you want to find. Voila! It will display the exact location of where your iPhone is. You can then play sound, which will alert the phone and it will ring out. Turn on lost mode or erase the phone if you're sure you can't get it back. Now, for lost mode, click the lost mode in the box at the right corner of the screen. Enter a phone number and it will display on the screen of your iPhone, which the finder can use to get to you, and then you click done. The phone will be locked, or you can erase all data and information from your phone. I believe that was very helpful. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network, for more interesting and informative videos. I am Folawe Wayeni. See you next time. Bye.
That was a very informative one there from Folawe. Up next is our special report for the week, and it's on Computer Village in Otigba, Ikeja. This market is one of the biggest computer accessories markets in Africa, and the Lagos State government have a huge plan for it. Let's see this report for a comprehensive analysis on what this plan is and how it's going to affect business in the market.
Computer Village, arguably the biggest information communications technology ICT accessories hub in Africa. Located in Otigba community in Ikeja, the capital of Lagos State, Nigeria. It is a perfect competitive market with an organized association, the Computer and Allied Products Dealers Association of Nigeria, CAPDAN. And going by provided statistics, this Lagos-based tech market generates over $2 billion in a year. Data have shown that more than 20 million phones are sold at the village in a month, and the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has said that the market contributed about 2% to the national gross domestic product in 2014. A figure which has significantly increased to this date.
There's a lot of ingenuity going on in Computer Village. One of the first things we are doing is to formulate a hardware plan for Lagos, right? That would have Computer Village at its core, right? Their ecosystem of repairers, their ecosystem of builders, their ecosystem of sellers in Computer Village. Recently, we've put Computer Village in talks with a number of multinationals that want to come into Nigeria and build factories, right? We insist that Computer Village must be an important element of participation, right, within their own considerations, right? And we are also linking Computer Village with the educational institutions, right? Because while that ecosystem there is a little bit unstructured, we are trying to put very organized structures around it. So how can we certify some of those people in Computer Village so that when you take your phone, when you take your device to Computer Village, you are working with a certified repairer?
But for a market which has been tagged Nigeria's Silicon Valley, the site of Computers Village is not one to behold, as the market is disorganized and confusing. Hosting both shops and residential buildings makes it even more irregular. So what can be done to boost the already laudable potential of Computer Village to make it befitting of African Silicon Valley?
We are developing a lot of things that would make this place, fulfill its full potentials. Really, we are moving away from trader perspective to a business based on knowledge point of view, and that is what the industry requires, and that's how we are leading the business hub. We can actually have Silicon Valley, whereby all the IT companies, the OEMs in the world would have a base, and all the IT companies will be together. There are some things that that are going to be a lot of people are coming up with now. The smart city project in Lekki and so many other projects. We know we'll get there.
Recently, an agreement for the rebranding and relocation of Computer Village from Ikeja to Katangwa has finally been reached between Lagos State Government and the Coalition of Associations in Computer Village. A plan which was implemented by past Lagos Governor Akinwumi Ambode and is believed to be commissioned by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu within the next 2 years, and promises to provide a more conducive environment for their businesses, devoid of miscreants, harassment and disorganization that is a menace of their present location. But what does a new look and location connotes for traders and consumers of this Africa's biggest tech market?
It's not good, actually good, because it's going to affect us. And in this market, we are trying to see everything we can do so that they will not remove the market, because it's going to affect us in every angle.
I think the government is having a plan, but we have not been carried along like we, the business owners in Computer Village. We don't know how they want to include us in their plans, because moving us over there is like saying that we should just leave our offices from here to that place, but we are going to be, there'll be a lot of costs that we are going to incur, because the amount of shops around there are very, very expensive.
One of the advantages of moving to that place is that it gives you a lot of space to do more, and a lot of people will come. So as to bring development to the location we're going to. So it's anyhow it is, we adjust.
With the promise of a new face for the famous Computer Village, it seems certain that it will continue to remain the biggest and most important tech hub in Africa, provided the plans are executed as it is on paper.
This is Digivation Network.
Thanks for staying with us. That was our special report for this week on government plans for Ikeja Computer Village. I'm sure you learned a thing or two from the report. If you have just joined us, you're still watching Digivation Network. Do check us out on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network, for more reports.
This is AIT Infotech Network, reaching you from Freetown in Sierra Leone,
Accra, the Ghanaian capital,
Addis Ababa in Ethiopia,
Johannesburg in South Africa.
We are in Cairo in Egypt,
Tunis, the Tunisian capital,
Cape Town in South Africa,
reaching you from Dubai, Hanover in Germany,
live from Chicago, Las Vegas in the United States of America, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. We are in Beijing, China, in London, England. I am Bayero Agabi. Join us.
Coming up next is Adaze Okeya-Ine as she brings you the top 5s. And this week, we'll look at the top 5 most sophisticated prisons in the world. Enjoy this.
Thanks, Toby. Hello, welcome to another Top 5 segment. My name is Adaze Okeya-Ine. You can subscribe to www.youtube.com/Digivation Network. The concept of deliberately setting aside institutions to rehabilitate and serve as correctional facilities for offenders of the law was the reason prisons was established. Before the 18th century, offenders of the law more often than not were subject to capital punishment or deportation overseas. Over the years, evolution has influenced not just societies, but also these institutions designed to confine criminals. Here is a look at the top 5 sophisticated prisons in the world. At number
5 is Xinjiang Prison, China, infamously known as the Tiger's Cage, located in Beijing, Xinjiang district, an hour away from Chinese capital center. It was built in 1958 at the foot of Yangshan Mountain and funded by the Soviet Union. Operated by the Ministry of Public Security, it was originally intended to house war criminals from the Kuomintang nationalists. Currently, it houses the communist state's fallen elite. Cells in the prison are a generous 20 square meters and have writing desks, private toilets, and washing machines. Some cells are said to have private bathrooms and sofas. Inmates are relatively well fed and do not have to wear uniform, but are allowed to read, exercise, and play games. At number 4 is the North Branch Correctional Institution, Maryland, United States of America. Ever wondered just how expensive it is to keep prisoners incarcerated? Well, at our number 4 most subsidy. At number 3 is the Black Dolphin, Russia. Situated in Orenburg region near the border with Kazakhstan lies Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. It houses 700 of Russia's worst criminals. The inmates are imprisoned for life. Its nickname is got from a fountain with a sculpture of a black dolphin on the prison's territory. Considered one of Russia's toughest prison camps since 1745, it was renovated in the year 2000. Inmates are kept in cells behind 3 sets of bars. They are kept under 24-hour supervision that includes guard checks every 15 minutes and constant CCTV camera cell surveillance. And at number 2 is the Solzhenitsyn Center, Massachusetts. It is one of the most technologically advanced prisons in the United States of America, housing 1,000 inmates. The layout of this prison was designed by a team from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. The facility operates a keyless system. All doors are centrally controlled from the control center. The doors have 43 graphic user interfaces (GUI). While power cuts could disrupt other prisons, not so at Solzhenitsyn. It boasts of a renewable power source like solar power and hydroelectric. Occupying comfortably the number 1 spot in the most sophisticated prisons in the world is the Administrative Maximum U.S. Penitentiary, or ADX Florence, Colorado, United States. The ADX Florence is commonly called the U.S. highest security supermax or Alcatraz of the Rockies. It was opened in 1994 and is located in the high desert about 2 hours south of Denver. It was built as a facility for the worst of criminals. ADX is situated on 49 acres of land with a robust security infrastructure. Welcome back. And this is where we draw the curtain for the top 5 most sophisticated prisons in the world. Join us again next week. My name is Adaze Okiaine. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Back to Toby.
Thanks for staying with us. That was the top 5 segment, which featured the 5 most sophisticated prisons in the world. Today on Question Mark with Hillary, we have Oluwasegun Adeni, a digital analyst and banker who shared his thoughts on how banks in Nigeria are using local softwares to combat the threat of cyber fraud and other related matters. Enjoy the conversation that was handled by reporter Hillary Damisa.
Hello and welcome to this segment of the program Question Mark with Hillary Damisa. There are 2 types of questions in life: questions that have been answered are questions that are yet to be answered. And today, we would attempt to answer those questions bothering your mind on e-banking, if you like internet banking and the likes. And our guest on the program is Oluwasegun Adeniyi, a digital banker. We are glad to have you on this segment.
Thank you very much.
The advent of e-banking has brought about scandalous financial loss, financial scam, and internet fraud. Can you let us into what the banks are doing to mitigate and curb these challenges?
It's a daily problem, especially in financial services industry. What we have done, which I think many banks have done, the big difference, what we have done, which many banks have done, is we have fraud management solutions, we have a lot of internet security solutions which manage access to ensure that they are authorized before they can access our customer accounts. But what is more important about our solution, and this is where the customization from the generic options available are, is we have included software which relies on technology to understand our customers and their trends, such that if we notice abnormal activities on your account, we are able to flag that as a potential fraud activity and then get you to confirm going forward.
Different banking applications and softwares drive the financial sector of Nigeria. Do you think the banks are doing enough to drive and support local softwares to deliver services within the banking space in Nigeria?
I don't think it's possible to have any other position but to want to support our people. Okay. And I speak that not just because they are our locals, it is primarily because they are our locals, they understand the peculiarities of our problems even more. They understand what challenges we're faced with. Nigeria and Africa is peculiar in its own. Our people have a different way of thinking, unique way of thinking, I would like to put it. Our government is unique in its own as well, I would say. Solutions that have worked in the Western world may not fit in here because there needs to be some customization to be done. The best people to do that are the people, our locals. And I think that's definitely a case for local content.
With globalization comes the ever-changing face of technology, which also affects lifestyles and banking in general. With all of these, what do you think the future holds for the banking industry, especially in the face of the fintech revolution?
I think globalization helps to spread knowledge and technology across borders. The future of banking, it lies beyond just financial services, but extends, into how we understand the day-to-day lifestyle of our customers. I spoke earlier about the transition from a share of mind from a share of wallet to a share of mind. I think for the future, there are 4 things that I see to be very important in banking. It's the fact that banking will become invisible, banking will become connected, banking will become insight-driven, and it will become purposeful. Invisible from the perspective of financial services will become a way of life. So people don't wake up in the morning and say, I need to get a loan. It's, I need to buy a car. And then at the point of buying that car, there is a bank behind that ecosystem who's able to finance that procurement of the car. It will become connected from the same perspective. The bank is aware that I am at the car shop and I need to procure a vehicle. It will become insight-driven from a perspective of the bank understands my data points. It understands what I do, and based on that, they have earmarked me for a car loan, where in actual fact, because you are shopping for a home constantly on the internet, you are being targeted for a mortgage. So that's where the inside drive comes in. And purposeful from a perspective of all of these things become meaningless if they are not adding value to you as a consumer. I think those 4 pillars, I think will drive the future of banking, especially with the growth of globalization. It will ride on technology. You hear people talk about artificial intelligence and data analytics. For me, those 4 pillars will ride on the technologies, but those will be the 4 pillars that take the future of banking forward.
Thank you so much, Olusegun Adeniyi, for those insights, and we hope to have you again on the program if time permits. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's back to you, Tobiloba Gideon.
Thank you, Hilary. That's all we can take on the show for this week. To watch the full episode again in case you missed anything, please go to www.youtube.com/Digivation Network to see it and many other previous episodes and reports. You can also reach us on our social media platforms displayed on the screens. On behalf of the regular anchor by Ragabi, thank you for watching. I am Gideon Tobiloba. Join us again next week for another interesting episode. Bye for now.
This is Digivation Network.
Your effort as the supervising minister of the then Ministry of Science and Tech saw to the birth of NIDA, Biotech, NASDA, NISCOMSAT, and a number of other agencies. What were your convictions? How did you manage to see to the birth of these agencies and parastatals?
Thank you very much. You are very welcome to my residence, and I'm talking to you from my office. It's a pleasure to have you, and the good news is that what we try to do almost blindly seems to be paying off for Nigeria, and so we are very pleased about that. To your question, a specific answer to your question is that I was convinced that the only way we can develop is to bring science and technology into the development process. And we did not make too much noise. We worked very seriously and effectively. And we will talk more about that, but the basic idea was to bring science, technology, and innovation to some of the important areas. For instance, the area of information communications technology, probably by the time we came to the picture in 2000 and 2001, was basically post office. Okay, but I was convinced that if we are going to drive the system, we have to bring in technology. And this we did very quietly and very effectively. And this is why by the way, NIDA is the first ICT agency that we established. It came before NCC. It came before NCC. And in fact, we were trying to avoid the name communications because we thought it would be swallowed. And if you look at NIDA, there's no word called communications. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
But it was not an oversight. It was deliberate and systematic. All right. But the important point is that NIDA became the first agency we established as a think tank to drive the whole system. And I am very glad that the original thinking is coming back to life, where NIDA is now playing the role of a think tank for the whole ICT effort. And today, ICT is contributing over 14% to the GDP, to the gross domestic product, higher than oil, higher than many of the other areas. So I think if they tell me my time is up, I'll be smiling to 6 feet below.
Wow.
Thank you.
Prof, as a cabinet minister, how easy was it convincing Mr. President and putting a team together to ensure the birth of these critical agencies to drive development?
Okay. Well, that's a very important question. I was lucky to have a president, that was President Obasanjo, who was very, very friendly to science and technology and innovation. So Obasanjo was a leader. If you give him a document, he will say, see me tomorrow morning. And by tomorrow morning, he will tell you that he has read it with marks. So to answer your question, I was privileged to work with a president who was technology friendly, who was ahead of his time. And in fact, he was running ahead of us and dragging us. And that's very important because science and technology is encompassing. And if you are dealing with a president who is obstructive, then you have a problem. So my point is that President was friendly, my colleagues were friendly, my DGs were friendly. They all understood where we want to be, and they cooperated.
Honorable Minister, NIDA today is 20 years on with so much footprint in all the 6 geopolitical zones, and then with policy implementation in different aspects of technology sector. How satisfied? Are you fulfilled? Are you happy about the impact that NIDA has made?
Well, I imply that. I am quite happy with where NIDA is. I use the word NIDA was established of all the ICT agencies, and there are quite a few. NIDA was the first one that we established. And this was not an oversight. It was deliberate and systematic. We wanted NIDA to be a think tank, to drive the system with ideas, and that is what has happened. So NIDA was not put together by a mistake. It was very deliberate and very systematic. Okay, so to answer your question, I'm quite happy with where NIDA is. I am a little bit disappointed in that some of the projects, programs we envisaged have not come to fruition. For instance, we made a special fund for NIDA. It was a big battle too. And in fact, many of you may not realize, Obasanjo signed the NIDA law when we were just about a few weeks to the end of our tenure. All right. Now, why I'm saying this is that some politicians think that the special fund for NIDA is available, is cheap money that you can just come and take it in the name of approving a budget. You don't do that. You don't do that. And NIDA should stand up to those politicians who want to bastardize the system. It was not cheap money for anybody. It was money dedicated to the issue of developing NIDA, developing Nigeria, developing ICT. And that's where we are.
Yes, sir. Prof, sir, with what you have seen today and then the judge view from
things you have penned down on in your book, that is why run before we learn how to work. And you see, with science and technology in Nigeria today, we have already learning how to walk before we run.
Yes. If you, the ICT revolution is one area that I am very happy, because it more or less mobilized the people. Even my girl who works for me as house help knows how to send a text message. She can talk on the phone. And this is group, society, community mobilization. It has never happened where there is a science policy that mobilizes the community, everybody. And the power is that you may not realize that Nigeria is ahead of some of the developing or developed countries when you come to ICT. I have told you the example of a house girl sending a text. Many of the American housewives cannot do that.
Thank you, Prof. Records have it that you are the longest serving Minister for Science and Technology in Nigeria. What kept you going?
Well, the people ask me that question. I did not go to parties with the president. The president kept me there. People will go and complain to Obasanjo about Mr. Isoun. And Obasanjo will say, please leave that professor alone. He's doing what I asked him to do. He's doing what is good for Nigeria. So I did not bribe anybody to be in office. I put my head down. I did what I thought was required, and the results are there for everybody to see. So it was not a magic, it was not a lobbying, it was getting the work done. Okay.
So, Prof, what are your regrets or disappointments in respect to the development of science and technology in Nigeria today, especially in relations to NITA?
Okay. Well, let me take this first part. I believe that just like we have done in ICT, if you want to do anything in agriculture, which today is a priority for the Buhari government, inject science and technology and innovation to it. Okay? You cannot do it. Bring in elite strains, bring in seeds, bring in tractors, bring in processing. These are very important. You cannot be lamenting and praying. Bring technology to the system and you will see wonders, just like we have seen it in ICT. All right, bring technology and innovation and science to education. Today, I am the chairman of the Educational Trust Fund in Bayelsa State. And we are trying to bring technology into education. I tell my friends in the north, and I will be I'm 83 now. And today, if you say time is up, I'm ready. And I will tell my colleagues in the north, introduce technology. And 10 years, the issue of educational backwardness is over. It's over. Quote me. If the North introduces science, technology, and innovation into education, 10 years, educational backwardness is over. put me.
Prof, are you concerned about the threat to education by the level of insecurity in
yes,
the northern part of the country?
My friend, I am not somebody to be detained by lamentation or problems. I am a problem solver. Okay, so I am not going to be detained. I'm not going to be, detained by the issue of the problems. I feel that as a scientist, I think of how to solve a problem and not to lament and go to bed.
Okay, Prof, today ICT has become such an enabler that young persons now are innovative with startups, with hubs, and a lot of them are employing a number of youths to contribute meaningfully to the nation's development. In terms of this, how do you feel, especially in the light of NITA?
Okay, well, again, you put it very well as a communication expert. So the issue is, this is what we anticipated. In fact, we used to say Africa missed the first, second, and third industrial revolution. We did, the governor, who was at that time, was Alamechia. Alamechia nominated another accountant to replace Badigo. But Obasanjo said, but I met somebody from your state in Kenya and mentioned my name. But, and this is very important, when my name was mentioned, Alamechia at that time, with blessed memory, said, yes, I know Professor Sean, but he's not a politician. Obasanjo said, yes, I know he's not a politician, but if Professor Sean does his work, I will have a political benefit. Now think of that street wisdom. If Professor Sean does his work, although not being a politician, Nigeria will benefit. Is that what has happened? So the message is loud and clear. In spite of all the problems, I will tell you straight away that I believe in Nigeria. I believe in the hope and prosperity of Nigeria. And in spite of all the problems, Nigeria will survive and stay still in Nigeria with all these good and bad people gone, including myself. Nigeria will survive us all. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Prof, say congratulations to NITA.
Yes, so I want to congratulate NITA because very few institutions are sustainable. And to see NITA sustainable, I am very pleased. And I gave the hint that NITA has come back to the original vision of NITA, to be a think tank. And that is what NITA is doing. To be a think tank and drive the ICT revolution, which is beyond whether you are a specialist in engineering, a specialist in communication, you are driving, you know where you are going. And you make sure that they fall in line. So I'm happy with NITA. I congratulate NITA and I wish them success.
This is Digivation Network. This is Digivation Network.
In the world of technology, there are just two kinds of people. One, the digital natives, and two, digital immigrants. Digital natives are those born after the advent of the internet. They are comfortable with swift technological changes and they take the presence of technology in their lives almost completely for granted. They have digital DNA flowing through their bodies. On the other hand, digital immigrants are those born before the advent of the internet. Their comfort level with our technology-soaked world is more variable, but they are affected by the digital invasion just as much as their native children. By and large, whether you are a digital native or a digital immigrant, what is certain is technology now rules this world and you have to play along. On this note, I welcome you to Digivation Network, Africa's leading ICT business, lifestyle and innovation program on television. I am Gideon Tobiloba, standing in for your regular host by Ragabi. To be part of this show, please follow us on all our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network, and get to win something for yourself. To participate in our weekly question and answer, subscribe to our channel www.youtube.com/Digivation Network and go to our Instagram page at Digivation TV to drop your answer to the question of the day with your email, and there's every possibility you emerge as our next winner.
This is Digivation Network.
In this edition, we bring you a special report on the ban on Twitter by the federal government of Nigeria. Now, this report is different from everything you've seen or heard about the ban. That's why I will not want you to miss it. Our top 5 segment for this week features the top 5 engineering universities in Africa, plus an exclusive interview with engineer Ikechukwu Namani, the president of the Association of Telecommunications Companies of Nigeria, ATCON, who talks to us on basic issues in the telecom industry and what ATCON is doing to make the industry better. These and many more coming your way in this edition. But first, let's serve you with the trending issues that made news during the week.
Hello, I am Bayero Agabi, welcoming you to this new ride, a digital ride that takes you into the lifestyle experience of innovation, tech impact, and new business frontiers. This is Digivation Network. On a weekly basis, we keep you well informed of developments and trends. Now the tech ecosystem is impacting politics, business, public and private enterprise management, plus how the new digital life can transform your business. I am Bayero Agabi. Join us.
The National Information Technology Development Agency reaffirms partnership with Universal Basic Education Commission on IT development in Nigeria. The integration of information technology into the educational system with the aim to introduce the digital lifestyle to children from an early age formed the focus of the courtesy visit of the Executive Secretary of Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, Dr. Hamid Boboyi, and his team to the corporate headquarters of NIDDA. The Director General of NIDDA, Malam Kashifu Inuwa, who received the Universal Basic Education Commission team at NIDDA headquarters, Abuja, on 3rd of June 2021, reiterated the agency's commitment to collaborate with the Universal Basic Education Commission and provide technical support to enable the Universal Basic Education Commission design a unique framework to achieve a digital economy. According to Malam Kashifu Inuwa, with the recent launch of projects such as the pilot edition of the National Adopted School for Smart Education, students can be empowered and equipped with continuous identification of emerging skills to stay abreast of global trends.
Up next is our special report for the week, and it's on the Twitter ban in Nigeria. But like I said earlier, this report captures the story in its entirety, and I'll advise this is not the best time to leave your TV set. You need to watch this.
Nigerians across the nation are still feeling the ripples from the shockwave sent by the federal government when it announced the indefinite suspension of microblogging platform Twitter on the 4th of June 2021. The action by the federal government followed the deletion of a tweet of President Muhammadu Buhari, a tweet which was labeled to have violated the policy of Twitter on abusive behavior. But the suspension of Twitter by the federal government far precedes the deletion of the president's tweets, as a statement put out by the Ministry of Information and Culture accused Twitter of allowing its platform to be used for activities that are capable of undermining Nigerians' corporate existence. Reacting to deeper reasons behind the ban, Kelechi Decker, Editor-in-Chief, African Economy magazine, had this to say.
I think that the government has been looking for an opportunity to get back at Twitter since the issue of NSAS and all those things. So they found Twitter has been quite influential in trying to, especially in controlling the public narrative space. So that the influence of Twitter has been a kind of a pen in the neck to them. So they've been trying to find a way to get back at Twitter. So this one presented the opportunity, because when you look at it, it's quite laughable that, you know, removal of a tweet, not the whole tweet, but a certain aspect of that thread was what kind of ignited this kind of stuff.
According to NetBlocks, an international internet watchdog, the Twitter ban has cost the country 6 billion naira 3 days after the ban came into effect. Kelechi Decker also speaks on the far-reaching economic implications of the ban.
Apart from Twitter being a platform of expression, Twitter is also a platform of business. Twitter is a platform of entrepreneurship. Twitter is a platform of training. Twitter offers a whole lot of stuff. People just see it as just where the people go and rant. But there are a whole number of Nigerians whose daily bread depend on activities that are taking place on Twitter. The Guardian newspaper did a report on, was it on Monday or Sunday, where they highlighted the cost of that ban, the economic consequences of that ban, the socio-economic dislocations of that ban, and it runs into billions of dollars.
Aside from the economic implications, the ban on Twitter has also brought with it some legal consequences, as Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) and the Nigerian Bar Association have indicated intent to challenge the ban in court. On the grounds of the legality of the ban, legal practitioner and activist Lebros Oshoma says the ban contravenes the country's constitution.
If you look at Section 22 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, it states, the press, radio, television, and other agencies of mass media at all times shall be free to uphold the fundamental objectives contained in this chapter and hold the responsibility of government. Twitter can be classified as other means, other agents by which the people hold government accountable. It's a constitutional provision by virtue of Section 22. That is why the press is regarded as the fourth realm of the estate, because they even hold it a greater duty than the judiciary to hold government accountable to the people. And one of such means, it's, Twitter as a means of communication. Twitter as a new means of putting a communication tool in the hands of everybody. So you have a constitutional provision, a constitutional enablement, and then by fiat, order, pronouncement of the government or the president, as the case may be, you remove that constitutional provision. You deny the people of that constitutional provision. That's an abuse. That's arbitrariness. That's dictatorship.
Lebros Oshoma also proposed an engagement with the government and Twitter to look into the rules as opposed to an outright ban.
So, what we should do, there are rules. What we should continue to do is to make appeal to them if we feel that their platform is being used to fan the embers of terrorism or sectionalism or destructive tendencies. You make
complain to them and ensure that if the rules are not protective enough, let them also, look at it and expand the rules. But you don't just sit down, put your hand and expect that they should know. They are not all knowing. So there should also be a mechanism. Sit down, let us review the rules as laid down by them. If they are violating their own rules, then we'll let them know. If they are not, then we now find a way of ensuring that we activate the instrumentality of those rules to ensure that both the critics of government comply with the rules.
Nigerians from all walks of life also share their thoughts on the ban and how it affects them, as majority of Twitter users have bypassed the ban by the prompt use of virtual private network, also known as VPN.
In this 21st century, this is internet world where everybody connected to the world, and you said you want to ban it for what? Just because our president was deleted, or why? Well, for crying out loud, if you have done the needful, what's the extent of banning Twitter?
This is a democratic country, and there should be freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of communication. Banning of Twitter is like, not accepting the freedom of speech in this country.
With a Twitter ban only being temporal, Nigerians continue to wait and hope for the best resolution between the government and the social media platform.
This is Digivation Network.
Thanks for staying with us. That was our special report for this week. If you have just joined us, you are still watching Digivation Network. Do check us out on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network, for more reports. So to the question of the day, what is the full meaning of NIMC? Again, what is the full meaning of NIMC? To participate, subscribe to our channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network, and go to our Instagram page at Digivation TV to drop your answer and your email, and you might just be one of our lucky winners.
This is AIT Infotech Network, reaching you from Freetown in Sierra Leone,
Accra, the Ghanaian capital, Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, Johannesburg in South Africa.
We are in Cairo in Egypt,
Tunis, the Tunisian capital,
Cape Town in South Africa, reaching you from Dubai, Hanover in Germany, live from Chicago, Las Vegas in the United States of America, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. We are in Beijing, China, in London, England. I am Bayero Agabi. Join us.
Coming up next is Adaze Okeya-Ene as she brings you the top 5s, and this week we'll look at the top 5 engineering universities in Africa.
Hello, thanks Toby. Welcome to another informative top 5 segment. I am Adaze Okeya-Ene. In this video, we shall look at the top 5 engineering universities in Africa. Engineering combines the fields of science and maths to solve real-world problems that improve the world around us. Think about the things we see in our everyday life: buildings, roads, bridges, vehicles, computers, and other electronic devices. None of these things would exist without an engineer. Engineering is a highly significant field and forms an integral part of emerging technologies. Now, let's see the top 5 universities you can study engineering in Africa. But first, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network, so you don't miss anything. On our top 5 spot is the University of Witwatersrand, Southern Africa. The University of Witwatersrand is one of the top public research universities in Africa. It is located in Johannesburg, South Africa, and was founded in 1896 as the South African School of Mines in Kimberley. It is commonly known as Wits University, or simply Wits.
The Faculty of Engineering consists of 7 schools, including mining, civil and mechanical engineering, industrial and aeronautical engineering. In 2016, it was ranked as the top university in South Africa in the Center for World University Rankings, CWUR. University of Witwatersrand is ranked 403 in the QS Global World Ranking. And on number 4 is the University of Pretoria. From its humble origins with just 32 students and 4 professors, the University of Pretoria has grown to be South Africa's largest contact and research-intensive university. This amazing research giant is home to over 50,000 students and ranked top 1% in the world. University of Pretoria, otherwise called UP, is situated in Hartsfield in Pretoria, South Africa's capital city. It is noted for its high standard of education and competitive entry requirements. It has 14 departments and over 11,000 students. It is a dynamic university community of staff and students from a range of diverse backgrounds and cultures, showcasing South African and global societies. It is ranked 561 in 2021 by the QS World University Rankings. At number 3 is the illustrious Cairo University, Egypt. Cairo University is Egypt's premier public university, founded in 1908. It was formerly known as King Fahd University and Egyptian University. It is situated in Giza City. It is one of the 50 largest higher education institutions in the world by enrollment. It has 22,000 students and 26 faculties. Cairo University is committed to preparing students for the challenges of the rapidly changing workplace. The university is among the best 5% worldwide, ranking 476 in international ratings. It was 300 in 2020 CWTS World Ranking. And on our number 2 is the Stellenbosch University, Southern Africa. In the beautiful picturesque town of Stellenbosch, the Western Cape province of South Africa, lies the prestigious Stellenbosch University. It is the oldest university in South Africa. The Faculty of Engineering is one of South Africa's major producers of top-quality engineers and is one of the flagship faculties. It was established in 1944 and has many departments with over 4,000 engineering students. The students of Stellenbosch are nicknamed Mates. The university has a vibrant academic, entertainment, and cultural heritage. It is known for strategic partnerships with organizations in Europe, Asia, and America. It is the second best university in South Africa, and the Stellenbosch University is number 2 on the top 5 engineering university in Africa. And on our top 1 engineering universities in Africa is the University of Cape Town. It is the home to the Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment. It is the oldest university in South Africa and located in Cape Town, Western Cape. The Faculty of Engineering has strong affiliations with industry and government, which fund research projects. The university is a cultural melting pot with students and staff from more than 100 countries in Africa and around the world. And that's all on our top 5s for this week. Keep a date with us next week. I am Adaze Okiaine. Back to Toby.
That was the top 5 segments which featured the top 5 engineering universities in Africa. Today on Question Mark, we have Engineer Ikechukwu Namani, the president of the Association of Telecommunications Companies of Nigeria, ATCON, who talks to us on the basic issues in the telecom industry, his plans for ATCON as the president, and what the association is doing to make the industry better. Enjoy the conversation as handled by our reporter Hilary Damesa.
Thank you so much, Tobiloba Gideon. And this is our guest of the week, Ikechukwu Nnamani, the President, Association of Telecom Companies of Nigeria, ATCON, and the Chief Executive Officer of a leading data service hosting company in Nigeria. Ikechukwu Nnamani, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Last year, you emerged as the president of ATCON. How has the journey been, and what are your plans for ATCON and the industry ahead?
It has been quite an interesting journey, but as you probably know, I've been in the executive, including being the previous Vice President 1. So moving up to the president position has been a smooth migration. For us, it's in 3 different subcategories. One is to ensure our secretariat and membership services is top-notch, and we improve on what it was before and make it very industry-focused, so that every member of the association, being a company, sees direct benefit of their membership. The second is to promote key industry issues that will move the industry forward, as well as move the country forward. To achieve that, we've been working closely with both the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, the regulator from the telecom aspect, in particular NCC, Nigeria Communication Commission, as well as other ICT regulatory agencies, NIDA, and the rest of them, just to be sure that from a regulatory standpoint, everybody is working in synergy, right? Then we are also very keen to ensure that the subscribers, who ultimately are the users of this service, are getting good quality for the right price.
Thank you so much. Now, tell us more about ATCON's key objective and its role in coordinating Africa's biggest telecom market and the stakeholders.
ATCON is the premier association of the telecom and ICT industry in Nigeria, and the membership cuts across about 9 subgroups and over 100 member companies. This includes your telecom service providers, both the mobile, fixed, the IDA licensees, your infrastructure providers, whether it's data centers, cell sites, or your traditional metro long-distance fiber providers, your internet service providers, both the wholesale and the retail subsectors, over-the-top players like Facebook, Google, and the rest of them, equipment manufacturers, and then the distributors, your fintech subgroup, as well as telecom and ICT consulting. So because it's such a diverse group that pretty much covers every aspect of the telecom ecosystem, it's quite interesting to be able to put everybody together. ATCOM basically is the convergence of technology and ICT services, right? So while we have, for each of these subgroups, we have some other membership associations that also addresses a core subgroup. Within ATCON is where everybody comes together under one umbrella.
There is a national broadband plan in which Nigeria hopes to realize about 17% broadband penetration by the year 2025. This is 2021. Can you please tell us how feasible it is to achieve this objective and what are the challenges that we may have to grapple with?
Well, it's achievable, but as you've rightly said, there are challenges that need to be overcome sooner than later if we are to achieve it. The right-of-way issue is one of it, where though some states have started complying with the agreement with the telecom stakeholders in terms of what the ID price should be, which is put at not more than 145 naira per linear meter. Some states have even decided to just waive it, but very few. What we are noticing is that while even in some states that have decided to either waive or reduce the right-of-way, some new charges has been introduced, which at the end now even makes it more expensive, you know. So we are addressing all that under the association, working with some of the key stakeholders to see. But then you also have to deal with issues about vandalism, where if you put infrastructure and it's vandalized, then you won't have service, you know. We have to do with issues that has to do with the high cost of fund, as well as unavailability of funding to the telecom industry.
The president of the Association of Telecom Companies of Nigeria, Ikechukwu Nnamani, we thank you so much for obliging us your time and audience, and we look forward to having you on the program in due course. Thank you so much, and it's back to you, Toby.
This is Digivation Network.
All right, that's all we can take on the show for this week. You can contact us on www.youtube.com/Digivation Network and our social media platforms displayed on your screens. On behalf of the regular anchor, Byra Gabi, thanks for watching. I'm Gideon Tubiloba. Join us again next week for another interesting package. Stay out of trouble and be safe. Bye.